Hi, this is Eli. I work as a tutor in the nursing office, and I've talked with a few of you so far already about your EBP papers. Um, just wanted to create this video to kind of show you some of the setup for in Microsoft Word as far as getting all your APA style correct. There's some nice built-in functionality with Word that really helps with doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Um, so you can spend more time worrying about doing your research and actually writing your paper. There are a few shortcomings to what's built in, so I just want to kind of show you a few tips and tricks I've learned along the way uh, to make this relatively painless. So first thing we're going to do here, so this is Word 2016 on Windows 10, so it's the newest version. Most of this should be pretty similar if you're on, say, an older version like 2013, or if you're on a Mac. And I'll point out there's one difference I can think of on the Mac that I'll show you, but everything's pretty similar. If you do have trouble, come see me and I'll see if I can help you get straighten out with that. But first we're going to do from our new file screen, we're going to go up to the search bar here and we're going to type in APA and hit enter. So this is going to bring up 3 templates for us, and the one I like to use is this first one here that's titled APA Style Report 6th edition. So we're going to go ahead and double click on that one. And it's going to think for a second. Alright, so as you can see, it's generated a template for us. It's got most of the stuff set up pretty good. Let's close this researcher pane. This is actually pretty useless. And we're going to go ahead and just take out some of the stuff that we don't need. So if we scroll all the way to the bottom, so figures, so I'm just going to highlight all this. You're not going to be needing figures or tables probably. Footnotes you won't need. We'll take those out. I'm actually also going to take out the references as well. The way this is set up, it's made so that you can use the references manager and automatically generate your bibliography from that. This is nice in theory, but I found that there's just a few things. It's not quite smart enough when it comes to APA style. I think it's more of a headache than it's worth. So you're free to try it out, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck with it. So I'm going to take out the references as well. So I'm going to backspace all of that stuff. Backspace a couple more times. Okay. It's not letting me take that out. I'm going to go ahead and hit delete to erase that page. There we go. So now we've taken out, we'll leave this in for now. This shows your different level headings. And we'll go up to here. You don't need an abstract, so we're going to take this out as well. So all we're left with now is our title page and our first page or two of our body of our paper. So before I go any further, I want to show you some of the settings that we're going to change. So if we go up into File and hit Options here, now on the Mac, I believe you'll go up to your menu bar at the top, you'll hit Word, and I think it's called Preferences. But here it's Options. And then also on a Mac, it's going to be formatted a little bit different, but most of these categories are fairly similar. So you should be able to find the options you're looking for, but it's not laid out quite the same way. So we're going to go into, first of all, proofing. And then we're going to go to autocorrect options. Alright, so the two tabs I want you to notice are the ones that are called auto format and auto format as you type. They are very similar. The difference between these is the auto format is these settings only apply when you run the auto format function. There's an auto format function up in the ribbon here somewhere. Not everybody uses that, so if you plan to use that, go ahead and set that up. But at the very least, you'll want to do the auto format as you type, and that's where you'll notice sometimes it'll change things on the fly as you're typing. Like if you type 2 hyphens, it replaces that with a dash when you hit the space bar, things like that. So some of the things you want to disable would be definitely the ordinals with superscript. So like your first, second, third. The reason you want to disable that is so you'll use this sometimes if you're using your in your references. If you're using, say, the third edition of a book, you want that when you type RD, you want that to be a normal 12-point font. You don't want to have that as a superscript. So uncheck that one. I would uncheck the fractions as well, and then make sure you're unchecking internet and network paths with hyperlinks. If you use a web address in your references, if you have that checked, it will automatically underline those. You don't want that. You just want normal plain text. So have that unchecked. And then if you plan to use auto format, go back in there and set it up similarly. We're going to go ahead and hit OK. Spelling and grammar. So it's up to you if you want to have these checked or not. My preference is I keep the spell check on, but I don't keep the grammar check on. I will run the grammar check manually. I would recommend running the grammar check before you submit your paper at least once. I find that having the grammar check on all the time kind of clutters things up. But that's all your preference. We are going to go though into writing style, grammar and refinements, and we're going to hit settings and go all the way to the bottom. Now recall that APA style requires 2 spaces after every full stop. So after every period of in the body of your paper, after every period, you're required to have 2 spaces. So we're going to change this to 2 spaces. Now that does not apply to your references page. If you have a period, you're just going to do 1 space after that on your references page. But in the body of your paper, you want 2 spaces. So change this to 2 spaces, and then when you go and run your grammar check, it'll alert you if you made a mistake if you only put 1 space. Most of this other stuff we can probably leave the same. The one thing you might want to do, this is optional, and I'll show this to you later. The quick access toolbar. If we go to change this from popular commands to all commands, it's going to take a second to load. It's thinking. There we go. We're going to go down and find style separator. Style separator. We're going to add this. So now it's in our list for our quick access toolbar. And I'll show you this when we talk about headings as far as why you might want that, but it's definitely not required. Going to go ahead and hit OK. Oh, and let's take out this author now. We don't need this. Okay. So first thing, let's go ahead and start setting this up. So I'm going to double click up here in my header and then click on this. We're going to set up our running head. So we'll just type in all capitals. Whatever we want our running head to be. There's look in your APA reference or your APA style manual. It gives you there's a character limit, I believe, to what this should be. I don't remember off the top of my head. So type that in there. Double click to exit, and then you'll notice the template has taken care of all of this for you. So you don't have to worry about setting your first page to say running head. it'll just automatically do that for you once it does it all for you on each page once you type that in. And it's got your page numbers as well. Now we'll go here and actually first, so I'm going to zoom out here. This is kind of nice for if you zoom out. Also, if you make sure you have go to view and make sure you have your ruler turned on. It's also nice to make sure everything's lined up neatly. Sometimes zooming out and looking at your whole page will kind of help you spot errors with, oh, maybe I have like a heading indented by mistake. So what I notice here is this template, it always pushes this a little closer to the top than I like. I don't think it's wrong per se, but usually we like to have this a little more centered. So what I do is I click here and then I right click and hit paragraph, and then I change this 120 to 240, and that usually gets it right about where I want it. So I'm going to zoom back in. So click here on my title. Type in whatever you want your title to be, and then we'll go ahead and type a name. You're not required to have your middle initial, it's recommended. And then Kirkwood Community College. Alright, title page is done. Now you'll notice when I put my title in here, it's automatically added it to the top of my first body page here, which is how we want it. So we don't have to do anything with that. We're going to go straight into your introduction here. So you're not going to do a heading that says introduction or anything. This is not bolded. You're just going to do it just the way it's set up here. You do your introduction, and then you'll go into your first top level heading here. So let's say, actually here, I'm just going to take all this out and show it to you from scratch. So backspace here. So hit enter here. So it's taking me to a new paragraph. Now the really nice thing about this APA template, what I really like is how it has these styles up here predefined. If you don't see the one you want, use either the little scroll here, or this will drop them all down so you can see. So we're gonna go ahead and hit heading 1, and notice how that brought my cursor to the center there. And let's say I'm gonna type background. Okay, so notice it's bolded it, it's centered. I don't have to do anything else. I hit enter, and now it's taking me back to normal, and it's put my first line indent. So I'm ready to start typing. Alright, let's say I want to do, so let's go ahead and do another one. I hit enter, heading 1, best practice. Alright, why did it give me an X? Okay, maybe I hit it twice. Okay, blah blah. Now let's say I want to do a level 2 heading. So hit enter. Now I'm going to go level 2. So now it's gone flush to the left. So let's say I'm talking about mortality. Hit enter. Maybe I'm talking about mortality statistics. Alright, now maybe I want to go into a level 3. Okay, this is where it gets just a little bit more tricky, but not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and hit heading 3. Now, if you recall, with a level 3, it's going to be this one. You're going to have the words. You're going to be having the text of your paragraph start right after your heading. So, and I'm actually looking up here to see. I don't think we indent. I think we have it in. Looking at my APA manual, I think we have it. Let's see, level 3. Oh, level 3 is indented. So it's indented, boldface, lowercase, paragraph, heading, ending with a period. And the period is bolded. Okay. That's 3.03 in your APA manual. Okay. So level 3, level 3 heading, and it's going to be lowercase like that. So if you're doing your level 2, that would be, you would uppercase major words, so mortality and morbidity, that would be uppercase. So here, this is indented, and then we start going straight in. Now, the only thing that makes this a little tricky is you can't go into, if you hit normal, well, that's going to mess up your heading. So what you either have to do is either just unbold your text and start typing, or alternatively, what you could do is use that use that style separator that we talked about. So I'm on heading 3 for my style. This quick access toolbar, we added that style separator. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that, and then I can go straight into, oops, what happened? Let's take this out. I think because I was playing around with the bolding. So enter heading 3, level 3 heading. We're going to do a style separator. Okay. There we go. And so then we could just start typing our normal paragraph. So that's it for the headings, really. Not too bad with having these built-in styles. And also you can, nice thing is too, if you're editing, it puts in these little gray arrows here. You can collapse these and kind of get some stuff out of the way if you're trying to cut down the clutter, if you're wanting to focus in on something. Kind of handy there. We're going to go ahead and so put that references page back in. If we go to insert up on the ribbon here, we go to page break. Alright. We have a tab here still because it thinks we're starting a new paragraph here. So go ahead and backspace to take that extra indent out. And now we're going to go home. We're going to go centered. And we're going to type references. Okay. It's references, plural. Now we're going to hit enter. We should still be double space here. We're going to go left. We're going to do left align. And now we're going to right click and we're going to do, we're going to do paragraph. Make sure these are all set to 0. We've got double spacing. And now we're going to need to set up our hanging indent. So we're going to hit 0.5, and then we're going to change this to hanging. Now do it in that order because I've noticed some people have been having trouble with if they try to set it to hanging and then they set the length, they set the width, sometimes it messes up for some reason. So do 0.5 first and then hit hanging. We're going to hit OK, and then we should be good to go to start typing our references. So let's say Nika in 2018, start typing. Then we're going to do italicize for the journal title, article. Remember that volume number is still going to be italicized, and then issue number is not. So I'm using Control I to toggle the italics, but you can also click up there. Page numbers, remember you don't use P or anything in your references. There's a couple exceptions, like if you're citing a chapter of a book, then it would use PP period. But normally for a journal article, we would just type our page range. DOI if we have it. Oh, and you know what? We're going to undo. I'm going to look and see if there's a way to, because it'll try to automatically You could either turn off the auto capitalization. I'm going to see if there's a way to maybe just have it so DOI does not automatically capitalize. I'll post a comment if I can figure out a way to do that, but let's undo that. Remember, no period at the end of your DOI, you just end right there. So then if I hit enter, then we should start back over to the left. Simmons, let's say, so another snarky title. Remember to capitalize first words. All right, you get the point. So it's so we have the start of our reference flush with this left margin, and then everything below it should be indented 1/2 inch to the right. And that's really about all there is to it. Hopefully that makes it a little bit easier as far as just getting everything set up. I know it takes a little bit on the front end to get it set up, but then hopefully once you do that once, then you don't have to do it again, and you just start writing your paper. So if you have any questions, come see me, or you can post a comment below and I'll do my best to help. Have a good one.